This is the Making Waves Mindset Show with your hosts, Richard Biase
and Dave Moskowitz. Learn from our journey as we share the ups and downs
of being your own boss. Sunday morning groggies.
Right. Can you tell in my voice?
Yeah, Dave, what happened? What happened to your voice?
I know. I'm all like still sleepy.
It's okay. It adds, you get your good, deep.
It's got the rasp, right?
What everyone's looking for. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining the Making Waves Mindset Show, where we encourage you to dream bigger, make waves, and take action. Please subscribe and share the show, write a review, and rate our show on your favorite audio platforms. Dave?
Today we're doing a check-in show. This is, we strive to value our listeners' opinions and suggestions.
Yes.
And this is one where we wanted to just check in with us.
Yes.
Check in to see what we're up to, what we're doing, how our journey's going. Keep everyone updated on the premise of this show was to follow our journey as into the entrepreneurial world and see where we're at. So that being said, let's give some information to our listeners.
Yeah, let's share in that wisdom and knowledge. So, the updates are good. So who wants to start? You want to grace the floor? Shall we talk about each side of the coin first, or what we are looking at to do together now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about what we're doing together. So the one thing that we are learning, and I've learned, is as if anyone's friends watches Friends, there's that episode when they're trying to move that couch.
Okay.
And Ross starts yelling about pivoting. Pivot. People who watch Friends will find it funny, but people who don't won't understand. But you need to pivot in business, right? And that's the one thing I've learned real quickly is when things happen, and we heard it from our friends at 416 Tactical about pivoting from their gym to something else. And pivoting in business is the way to go. And when things get tough and things don't work out with one business, or when things are not working out correctly with that specific business, you need to pivot and change directions. So,
and be open to it. Like be scanning and be fully aware all the time. Don't get in that comfort zone.
Right.
Thinking that you've made this change, and we as novice entrepreneurs understand that. To stop focusing on the one thing, just be aware of your surroundings, because you may have to pivot. You don't want to be caught off guard.
Yeah. And by pivoting, meaning you don't need to change 100% of what you're doing. Correct. Just you need a new look at it. And sometimes having somebody to, we talked about mentors and talked about people in surrounding yourself, and your vibe is your tribe and stuff like that. But going to other people and saying, what are your thoughts about this? And how are you doing this specific portion of your business? Or should you be getting into other business? So let's talk about what our new venture is. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, this is great. So, for those who know, while kind of in my previous line of work, I was starting to make plans to exit. And much like Dave, we have to be strategic at what we do. So investing in real estate was something I was always interested in. And Dave, some other mutual friends, we could say, have decided to come together, and we are now looking at flipping properties, which is something that was never really in our wheelhouse to begin with. But we had recognized strengths and weaknesses that, the few of us were able to bring together to start and make this project a go. But as we look at the real estate market and we take a full snapshot of what's happening, real estate right now is very high, especially in Ontario. For those who don't know, a very simple home actually, let me rephrase that. A beautiful $1 million estate property you can get in Texas for like $420,000.
It is crazy. Is it not crazy?
It's nuts.
I forever am looking at real estate in the States. And for those that don't know and do know, I have a business in California that operates, and I'm forever looking at properties in the States, and it makes me cry. It makes me cry what you can actually purchase in California, in Texas especially. It's just incredible the amount of property you can purchase. If you were to go dollar for dollar without the exchange rate, you can buy an amazing property for $350,000, $500,000. And if you get into the million, you're looking at acreages of property.
Things are very cheap down there. Things are very affordable down there.
Yeah,
But this is what happens with inflation. And as you know, Dave and I always explain, we are not we're telling you to do this show. We're an educational show. We want you to go out there to have an understanding, to do your own homework, to figure out what is best for you. And from our educational knowledge, our experience hands-on, when the market gets this high, for me, that's a worry because it's not
right.
stable. And so if
Yeah,
we're looking to generate profit and provide quality homes to people who need something better than a tear down property, if that's our direction, would you want to be buying at the highest points of the market? No. I just don't find personally from my background that things are very stable right now. You're not going to buy this exuberant property at this crazy price, which is nothing like Dave was saying you would get in California.
right.
And then we're sinking money into it through our capital partners, and the return is not going to be there. There's a lot of homework and a lot of steps that need to take place to make that happen. But
Yeah,
we recognized that and we had to pivot. We had built our team, we had our advisors, we had people in play. Dave brought these skills, so and so brought these skills, I brought these skills, and we realized we need to make a change. So
hmm,
we are looking at other things, but that hasn't stopped what, my wife and I do, also having to pivot, looking at the estates as a new market. We've discussed that, but the last thing you want to do is dive into something when there's so much risk for loss. It's not even a smart decision right now. I get
yeah,
it in general, real estate always goes up, but the market in the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area in Ontario, is very fragile right now because of
yeah.
inflation. So we
And
have
that
to be smart.
and that was one thing that I enjoyed about the team that we built so far is the honesty that we were able to have with each other. And sometimes going into business, you might be eager just to fly into it and
Yeah.
invest right away and put your money into it and just go, 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 go. But you have to, if you build the right team and the team is open to be honest with each other, that's the most important thing. And
Yeah.
that's what I liked about it. We had that open, honest conversation about what the realism of us doing this investment at this time and looking at it and saying, should we be doing this investment? Should we be putting our hard-earned money towards this? Or do we need to take a step back and sort of wait and see a bit? So that's what we're right now in the position of just wait and see where the market's going to go over the next month, 2 months, and then we're going to get into that journey. I'm actually really excited about this. This is something new for me. This is something. It's an industry that I've been interested in it, and it's one of those industries that, it's not 100% sure, and you're nowhere wherever you get into business, you're going to be 100% sure you're going to make money. It's a gamble. Everything's a gamble, but it's one of those industries that exponentially has grown over the years and continue to grow. There's been those bubbles that have popped, but if you look back 10, 20 years, the Ontario market has just it's gone outrageous.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
unbelievable to see how much it's gone. So it's something that I think that it's going to be very profitable for us in the future, and I'm looking forward to doing it. So it's, sort of to our listeners, this is something that you're going to want to listen. You're going to want to follow us on this specific journey if you're interested in real estate, because we are just jumping into this. We put together that team, and we're eventually going to be exponentially just growing, growing, growing.
And that's the journey that we promise to share with all of you, right? The ups and downs of what happens and what's taking place. And to Dave's point, it's the honesty in the group. We have a responsibility with our capital partners to go, hey, that's great. You have the financial ability to do this, but we also have to be responsible and understand we have to treat that money like it's ours. And the
Right.
goal has to be on the same page, despite other individuals out there who might want to just go no matter what. That's the risk you take. But
Hmm.
when you're dealing with other people's assets and you want to build those relationships, long lasting relationships in business, you need to make sure that you know what you're doing. And
Yep.
so, like to Dave's point, we're very happy. What it can add to that is this is exciting. It's something that we don't need to be present for. For example, we could be investing in other markets across the country, North America, international. So we're going to see what happens right now, and
Hmm.
that we're gonna go from there. But a very exciting project and opportunity with some incredible people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
been good.
yeah,
So far, so
very good.
good.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned for more of that to come.
Hmm. What else do we
So
have?
let's give what are we reading?
So I'm on a new book, Dave.
Yes.
It's going to be starting tomorrow. It's called The Alter Ego, Todd Herman. You can see on my screen. So don't know much about this. I'm excited. Anything where you have an opportunity to challenge and learn is good. Since I finished the phase 1 portion of the program, my reading was kind of on and off throughout the holidays. So it'd be nice to get back into routine with this particular book. The other one I was reading, I was not a fan of. Do you have that problem, Dave, where you get into a book and you're like, what the hell am I reading? It's happened to me twice. I'm like, what is this?
I find because I'm so new to, and for those that haven't listened to the first couple episodes who are just tuning in now, before starting 75 Hard back in August, I was not a reader, period. I actually just started getting into reading, and, I'm in my 40s. And I'm just starting
to
get
look 35, Dave.
Thank you. Age is just a number, right?
That's right.
So I'm just starting to get into reading. I was never a big reader. I only read because I had to.
Yeah.
I never read leisure reading. And I gotta actually give some credit to my wife, but she was always on me to read, but I never did. But now that I've started reading, and I'm actually enjoying it. I enjoy reading, and I've just finished phase 2 of 75 Hard. So I actually just finished the end of my self-help book, which was The Fifth Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I moved on, which are fantastic books. If you are looking for some great self-help books, Don Miguel Ruiz, Fourth Agreement, Fifth Agreement, fantastic. And he has a whole bunch of other books, which I'm planning on reading again, but I've sort of pivoted. Use that word again. I've changed. I wanted to, now that I'm not in doing the any phases right now. I'm on a sort of a phase break till July of next year, or this year. I've decided to read some biographies.
Beautiful.
So I'm reading Anthony Bourdain, who was I should say previous because he's passed now, but he was one of my favorite TV show chefs, and wasn't a great chef, I'm learning, but was definitely a advocate for the kitchen. And I loved his shows, No Reservation and uh, Chef Tours, and he did these awesome TV shows that I really enjoyed watching. And just his candor and his ability to tell the truth about everything that he was doing was awesome to watch, and his ability to explain it, he just had spoken word was really, really good with him. So I'm reading his biography that was written by one of his personal assistants for many, many years. Great book. I'm really enjoying it, and it's written in a weird way. In most books, you write it either in first or third person, and it's written like that. This book is written by quotes. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, his personal assistant, what she's done is she's gone to everyone that was around his life, like anyone, his parents, his mother, his brother, his ex-wife, his just people in his life, friends and best friends and associates, and she's gone and spoke to them on various topics, and she's put the quotes in the book. So it goes quote from quote, but it keeps on to the same topic. So it's interesting to read. Yeah, it's a great read. So I have that. I'm getting halfway through that, and then I'm moving on to Will Smith's biography as well.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so those are my next 2 books.
I want to jump back. You'd mentioned something about he wasn't the best chef.
Right.
And what's the message in business that we've had with every guest we've spoken to? You don't have to be the best.
Right.
You just have to get started. And from the very beginning of our show, Dave and I have addressed this issue about it doesn't need to be perfect.
Right.
You don't need to have the final product. You can be the draft, just the draft.
That's right.
And I think that is a huge hurdle that I wouldn't say I struggled with maybe off the bat. But there are times when I'm kind of like, it's not to the liking. It's like, who cares? You have it, it's done, publish it or do this. It's there. And you learn and grow from that, just like our show.
Yeah.
We didn't have all the kinks worked out, but we said, F it. We're going to go make what we have work and build upon that learning experience. But here's the autobiography.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So for those who do like Anthony Bourdain or just want to learn about him, pick up this book. It's a great book, and it's just titled Bourdain. So it's really good. that's my book sort of adventure right now. So and that's the thing, sort of my journey with reading books. I went from the self-help books, and now I'm actually reading a book just because I want to.
And
So
that's the best part,
yeah, I'm enjoying
right?
it. Yeah,
Right.
it's been good.
So
Should have read a long time ago. Any advice? My advice to everyone is pick up a book and read.
yeah.
It
And don't tell
it
yourself
will
you don't
actually
have
help.
time.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll have
just
time.
10 pages a day. That's what I continue with. Actually, right now I'm reading more of like a paragraph or um,
Chapter.
chapter a day.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Some of those
it's
chapters
been
can
good.
be long, Dave, but you
Oh,
go for it.
but they're so good. They're
That's
so
the thing.
good
We
though.
we
They're
talked about
so
that. It's
good.
like I can't
Yeah,
finish at 10 pages. It's like 11, 12, and then you go look, oh, I'm three more from the end of the chapters. You
yeah,
just start reading.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's good. So that's been a good recap. So yeah, we've had some changes for ourselves as a team, as a group. The book reading's important, and the common themes we keep seeing in the show, like take action. Don't wait for the perfect product. Just get going. I
That's
think
right.
that's key. That's huge right now,
Yeah.
especially as things are taking place. I think something I we can throw in there too. I keep throwing it on my Instagram. It's the mindset stuff too.
Hmm. Hmm.
These last few weeks, especially in Canada, we seem to have an audience that's growing quite largely through the US and beyond, and people are hearing from us. You got to be yourself. I know things are hard, and you just have to continue to be yourself. We're hoping that you're really finding time to push your limits, to get uncomfortable, because that's what's going to make you achieve what you want to do. So you're reading books, but you didn't like reading books. That's good. You're doing something. Are you getting up
Right.
and you're moving? Dave and I still show what we're doing behind the scenes as best we can, and I think that's key. You just need to continue to be yourself. It's our mental check-in. Dave and I have always
Yeah.
said, reach out to us. We've been in the trenches in our previous line of work, and if there's anything that we can offer or do, we're always around. And
Yeah.
we really encourage and are hoping that you guys are getting out there, you're exercising, you're moving, you're challenging yourself, and you're not waiting for the status quo. I often hear from people, they get home from work and then it's the Netflix for 5 or 6 hours, right? And we
Yeah.
always hear various phrases from people, 24 hours in a day. But you guys, make your time work. Make your
Yeah.
time work for you. And I'm sure when Dave hears it, I don't have time in the day. Listen, we all thought that. I didn't think I could read 10 pages a day.
Exactly.
Yes, in between the phases, there were certain days I just said, you know what, I'm not going to be in a position to do it. I want to do other things, but I didn't stop myself. I'm also doing other learning skills that I haven't been so public about. Dave kind of knows
Right.
some. So like that takes time for me to study and to learn what I want to do. I'm trying to learn a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a little bit. I'm actively trying to learn Spanish because I have great interest in wanting to do things in Latin America. And for the last year, I've been doing what I can and, spending a lot of energy on that. And that's key. I'm pushing myself. So, if I didn't read a book today, I'm okay. I'm doing a different version of reading that
Yeah.
for me at this point is very important. So continue to push yourself, continue to be you. I hope you're check in with friends and family, call up somebody who you haven't heard from in a while. Because right now we care about you and we want you to make sure you are looking after yourself.
Yeah. One of the keys that I'm learning for myself is don't let anything that you've chosen to change in your life change based on the exterior influences. It's one of the biggest things that I'm learning. So little things. For example, 2 workouts a day, if you're doing that, 1 workout a day, don't let the snowstorm change what you're
Yeah,
doing.
that's right.
Just because it's snowing doesn't mean you change the way you're doing your life. Don't say, "Oh, I can't do this today." Don't say I can't. Just go do it. Just go do it. Don't let exterior things change your internal decisions.
We
That's the
had
one
that
biggest
huge
thing.
dumping of snow, and I know you and I
Yeah,
still went out there, and people are like, "How
of
do you
course.
can you couldn't even drive off your driveway?"
Yeah,
That's how bad some of this was. But we
yeah.
still went out. I know you went out. I shared me going out. Um,
I thought, for me, I haven't been sharing as much of my journey in terms of the physical. I just didn't want to be nauseating with it for people, but I'm still out there, and I just wanted to check in on that day. And the reason I did it, it was just to show everyone that it's just because of this snowstorm doesn't mean I'm not getting my walks in. Doesn't mean I'm not getting my little exercises outside. don't let those little things, those are very, very minimal things in your life. They shouldn't affect. And if you can do those little things when it's nice and easy, it's going to seem amazing. And that's the one thing I have to tell our subscribers and our listeners is change that one thing in your life and don't let it ever change from the outside in. Change it and continue with it and just stay with that plan.
Dave, to your point, don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, I'll be honest, it's something that I sometimes struggle with because, I'm in my space, I'm doing my thing, and then you find out, oh my
Right.
goodness, so and so is over here doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're a little further ahead, but you can't compare your journey to their journey. You
That's
can
right.
learn from their experiences. As Dave and I always say, we're open books. We've noticed the most successful people out there will give you the time and day, are willing to be as helpful as they can and share those journeys. Other people are very cold and don't want that. So are you with the right people? Are you looking at your journey? You're not comparing, but you're learning. And that is something, like I said, I've had that struggle. It's like, damn, like I wish I was, but you know what? I can't. I started when I did. It is
That's
what it
right.
is. So as
That's right.
Dave says, challenge yourself. Don't change who you are. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on what your end goal is and continue to push forward. Like these are the next steps. These are the things that we want all of you to continue to do and to be yourself.
Yep. Awesome.
Well,
thank you. Thanks for joining Making the Wave show.
Absolutely.
We encourage you guys to dream bigger all the time. Take action.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show. We need that. We need those people to subscribe to our show. Share the show. If you found value in what we're saying, if you are enjoying our journey, if you want our journey to continue and for other people to see, share it with people. Talk about it. Put it out there. Write a review if you can. We want to hear back from what you're saying. We want to know if what we're providing you is giving you value for your day. We ended up meeting up. We won't get into it, but we ended up meeting up with one of our listeners the other day, and he was extremely thankful for us sharing our journey, showing us the 75 hard, talking about business, and now he is getting into business. He's getting into entrepreneurship. He went through with the 75 hard. He's enjoying that journey as well. These are something that we want to hear from you. We want to hear how we've affected your journey. If you want to hear some different information, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. It just warms our heart, Dave. That
it does.
We have a little impact in those lives, and maybe one day, time to bring some of these people on and see how their journey is going and what they're doing, and they can continue to light and inspire others. So we'll talk to you on the next episode.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Remember, make waves.
There we go, everyone. Take care.
Have a good day.